Did you know that every year tens of thousands of people have to change out their AC system before it's even 5 years old? And that's because something is damaging the equipment. But what is causing all this? Well, we can get the answer directly from a product specialist at Carrier Corporate. Hi, this is Kenneth with Atlas AC, and at any point during this video, if you find it to be helpful, please hit the like button, and that will really help me out with the YouTube algorithms. All right, so we touched on this a little bit earlier about looking at, variable speed systems, communicating systems as a complete and total systems, where you can't leave out the ductwork or the sizing of the house and things of that nature. So now, let's move over to ductwork a little bit. What is the importance of ductwork when it comes to these systems?
Your ductwork is your medium of transmission for comfort for the homeowner. So it's one of those that usually gets looked past, again, especially in the midst of a really busy time for different contractors because of weather-related occurrences. But the ductwork is really the heart of the system. It's again that delivery medium. So if it's not right, it doesn't matter. As a manufacturer, we could develop the best of the best of the best system in the world, something cool that you've never even seen or heard of before. But if it's not connected to the proper delivery medium for that comfort, it's never going to perform as we intended it to.
Right.
So through the development process of these products, in the installation manual, and contrary to popular belief, those installation manuals aren't actually knee pads when it's muddy outside. They actually do contain some really pertinent information in there, but in those installation manuals, it's very specific from a ductwork perspective. I mean, we've got blower curves, we've all the different components that really make up how this system was designed and how it's supposed to be installed. We understand that every installation is a custom job. Chances are that's the same ductwork that was put in when the house was built. No one's ever looked at it. It was oversized or undersized to begin with.
Yep.
And we've just been throwing new boxes at it since it was built. So, it's not just a matter of what can I get to fit back in the space that I just created. It's what happens when I put a new system in the space that I just created to the rest of the system. Am I truly delivering what I promised the customer at the kitchen table?
Right. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I got an interesting story on that one. So last year in 2023, from the folks in Texas, you know exactly what the summer of 2023 was. Just completely brutal. We had over 100 days in triple-digit temperatures, and it was terrible. But we had a person that we installed an Infinity for, and what we wanted to do with them was to do a two-step process. The ductwork was all, it wasn't necessarily like way undersized or anything like that, but it was off, for sure. And this was getting close to the end of July, right? So our guys, they're exhausted. I can't put them in a hot attic, 140, 150 degree attic for very long, because it's going to really start hurting their health. And then from there, it's going to be hard to continue working on on the next day's system, installs and things like that. So we really had to safeguard our installers' health last year. So what we wanted to do was a two-step process on this Infinity job. One, because they were down, go ahead and put the system in, and 1 month later, go ahead and do all the modifications on the ductwork to make it correct. And what we saw was the system did work, but it would run for about 2 hours, and then it would shut off for 2 hours, then turn on for 2 hours, then shut off for 2 hours. So we had to dive into the error codes and everything else, and what we found was the plenum was too shallow for it, and it was so smart reading, the temperatures of the HVAC coil, what's going on with the blower, all that other stuff. Is saying, hey, if I keep pushing the air like this, either the coil's going to start freezing up, something's going to start going on, you're going to start damaging equipment, so I'm going to go ahead and turn myself off, throw an error code. Let's work on getting somebody else out here until this problem is corrected. So it was smart enough to know, saying, hey, you're pushing me too far past my limits. Let's go ahead and fix this problem. And it was very interesting to watch. So from there, we had to do the ductwork ahead of schedule
Right.
to get it working right. So yeah, so we were crossing our fingers on that one, hoping not to do that. But it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's the beauty of these systems. At the end of the day, it's an investment in your home, and it's really nice to know that if you're going to make that investment in your home. I mean, how many other appliances in your home do you know that are smart enough to say, all right, this is too much. We need to settle down for a bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit of comfort and just to give you some time, buy you some time to get somebody out here, but something's got to change. I mean, it truly is an investment, and unfortunately for the HVAC equipment, as everybody is aware at this point, it's one of those that's out of sight, out of mind. It's one that kind of sneaks up on you. You don't realize how much you need it until you don't have it. So it's something you really want to protect.
Yeah, and if I put any other system in there, it would have tried to fight through it, and then we would be coming out there with frozen coils or whatever. Maybe it would fight through it for the next 5-6 years, and then we're replacing ECM motors or whatever. So a more traditional system is going to do its best to just turn on, let's just make this sucker work, and Infinity was just smart enough to say, like, dude, I'm not gonna throw this out the window, basically.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, and it's again, that protecting itself against the environment that it's in. And to your point, you go out 5 or 6 years later, a homeowner remembers when they had to spend, it's still an investment, whether it's a Comfort, Performance, or Infinity series. It's an investment in your home. And if your investment has to be made every 5 to 6 years because it was pushing through, it was gung-ho, that's something they remember. And unfortunately, that tends to come back to the manufacturer and the installing contractor. It was either the homeowner feels that the installer didn't do it correctly, or the manufacturer made something that was not fit for my home, and they have a negative connotation for that product. And really it's about, again, it's extremely important to make sure from a sizing perspective, from a ductwork perspective, that you're looking at the full picture. And it's really hard to do in your situation last year. Also, I was there for 2022 when that was kind of a record time frame as well. We had 60 plus days of over 100 degrees, and it was like 52 days of no rain. It was a lot of really hot and really dry. But anyways, at those points in time, from a contractor's perspective, you've got lots of customers that have lots of needs. Systems that are crashing out. So, they're not performing like they should be. So it's really easy to miss some of the key steps because of how truly busy you are. But it's extremely important, regardless of what tier of equipment is being installed. It's extremely important that you maintain your basic business practices of making sure that the equipment is designed appropriately.
So I 100% agree with this, because what you essentially just said was you should still use the same standard on an Infinity as you would, or as you should, on a Comfort series.
That's right.
Because the right way to look at an HVAC system, if you want the full life out of it, if you want it to be energy efficient, if you want it to deliver the comfort that it should be, you have to look at it like a complete system, meaning like you can't separate the equipment from the home, from the ductwork, from everything else, because you also have to understand, the way I kind of look at HVAC is it's a lightweight remodel, very lightweight, but every home is different. And so I can't do a cookie cutter solution for every single home because it doesn't exist. Every home is different, and that whatever piece of equipment that we go back with has to be right for the home, for the duct, for everything. So it needs to all tie together, or else it's just not going to work right. And not only that, it's not going to be as comfortable. You're going to keep paying high utility bills. And not only that, you're going to just start burning up stuff, and you're going to cut into the life of the system. Right. So you should never look at it like equipment only. So it should always be as a complete system for your home. So yeah, I'm big fan of that. That's right. If you found this clip to be interesting, make sure you check out the full podcast. We also have buyer's guides and other useful information that you can find on our website. Until next time, have a good one.